And of course, Mia being who she is, if I go through the list here of where everybody's speaking from, Berlin, Israel, Netherlands, Atlanta, Georgia, Munich, Caroline from San Francisco, Nancy from Switzerland, Simon from Singapore, Mark from Berlin, Michal Silver from London, Susan from Florida. I mean, this is Mia. Robert Dills from Paris, Kelly from St. Louis. I'm sorry for those I'm missing. We have over 120 people here. Tel Aviv, of course, Argentina, Italy, Santa Monica, another Munich, Israel, Frankfurt, London. This is, again, definitely a celebration of Mia just in the list that we have here. So again, thank you all. We're so excited, in a sense, to celebrate Mia and the wonderful gifts she's given all of us in many different ways. Let me see what I have here. Technology we took care of, and hopefully there won't be any glitches. If there will be, we'll deal with them. But again, the magic of Zoom is such a wonderful thing for us to build on and come together. So we'll go through a few things. The family will speak first. Then we'll have a few people who were invited to speak. And afterwards, if you want to speak, as Patty said, raise your hand and we will invite you to speak. Just out of respect for how many people we are, when you speak, if you could please try to stay within about 2 minutes. So have a mostly concise story or something to say about Mia. But just remember, we want to hear from as many people as possible, okay? Okay, so anything else to add, Leora, Anna?
Well, just technically, we're not hearing the music anymore.
Well, we don't yet. Are we supposed to?
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to welcome everybody here. I'm so happy to see you, familiar faces from so many years, so many really, really dear friends. It's wonderful to have you with us, to support us, and also to enjoy together the memories of Mia. So welcome. Wow. Wonderful people. Okay. Leon?
So I will start by sharing a PowerPoint, that's a few slides of just reminding us of Mia, who she was, and what she gave us. Just a minute.
I think your voice is good, Leon. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. Just a minute. Get this.
Only class one.
Okay. Mia, a life of adventure for sure. Born in Jerusalem in 1930. Those were old times. That was actually Palestine in 1930. So Mia has a Palestinian birth certificate. And when she was 18, Palestine became Israel. This is with her mother in Jerusalem. She loved her parents, as you all know. She spoke about them a lot with a lot of admiration. Growing up, 2 years old, then at 4, I think already, or 5, they moved to Tel Aviv, where she grew up. She used to talk a lot about roller skating in the streets of Tel Aviv. Teenager, those times in Israel, she used to go up to the north a lot and work in the fields near Kinneret, which is the lake.
Sorry, can I
Lake
just
Yafo.
add about the Tel Aviv thing, that she used to tell us stories of walking from her house through the sand dunes to the beach, and there was a bear there that used to perform tricks. Do you remember that story? It was
Yeah.
really just like there was nothing there.
Yeah, early days for sure. And like everybody else, she was in the army. And just, sounds like she had a lot of fun in Tel Aviv in those years. For those of you who know the history of Israel, all the Israelis back there, that picture on the right in the background is Altalena, this ship that sank in front of the shores of Tel Aviv. And she was really ready for adventure, and then traveled to South Africa to visit her uncle and aunt, which is where she met Morris. And
whose children and grandchildren are here in the room, by the way. That uncle.
yes,
Yeah.
and cousins and second cousins and many more. They lived in London for a while. That's where Morris was in hospital there for some injury he suffered in the Air Force. And to help him with his asthma, Mia in London studied
The Alexander technique.
the Alexander technique. And that's how, when she went back to Israel, she met up with Moshe. But she loved her time when they lived in London. Then back to Israel and started building a family. That's again Liora and Mia's parents. And then I was born at some point. That's us in our house in Israel. The picture on the right, you'll see us sitting in this pose. It was this Indian guru who used to come and teach us meditation. And we were sitting here and feigning meditation, I'd say. This is with the family, with the parents, some trip somewhere in Israel, I'm assuming. And all this while, Mia's hands, she was called to do this work. She actually started working with Moshe right after she gave birth to me. And the story is she used to drive back home at noon to nurse me and then go back work with Moshe. And those were really the early days of developing the concept. Moshe was working alone, and after Mia came back to Israel, she started working with him, and they worked, of course, many years together. Also started going around and sharing and teaching the method. And overall, there was a bond there of two souls who were really on fire to do this kind of work. And I'll go into more details, at least on my experience of this work. Here's another.
I think our big brother is here, David, and he also has stories about that, because he was quite a bit older than me, so he remembers a lot of stuff from when we were so small and we can't remember about how they worked together. Okay.
So the work started in Europe, and then in the United States. Again, we'll go into that a bit later. And Mia loved traveling, and Moshe was a judo man, so Mia wanted to study judo, and Morris wanted to study architecture. And 3 years in Japan, which were really magical. And Mia always, I think in some incarnation, she was Japanese. She just loved being in Japan. We really explored the culture. Mia was, and she had this ability to take us and have us do stuff. She studied Kyogen theater. She ended up taking the family to do it. Liora and I were the youngest non-Japanese to act in Kyogen theater. That was a real adventure. Moshe came to visit in Japan, and they did a lot of work together there, both collaborating with local people. Again, just such an amazing adventure. And then back to Israel, and Mia just continuing her work incessantly wherever she could. Really make the one on the left there, the picture, I love it, because that person couldn't walk when they came into the room, and they were up there with Mia. So she really miracle worker in that sense. And always that amazing focus and presence, which was so unique to her. As everybody knows, wherever Mia went, she had a skeleton with her, and always ready to pull it out and play with it and demonstrate with it. And always curious, even to, these are pictures from literally the last couple of years. She always was curious. It's like, would stop someone, why are you holding your coffee like that? Or, why are you holding your jaw like that? And Mia couldn't stop. Mia couldn't stop. And in fact, at some point she said to me, when I stop working, I want to die. And that was so beautiful. And she had this very clear gaze that was very captivating. Huh? So this is some family. That's with young Leora. And obviously there was so much more that they did together over the years. That's me as a baby. And that's me just a bit older than that. Leora and David, our dear David, who passed away all too early. That was their wedding. And then from that, Talia, one grandchild, Mia's eldest grandchild, and Michael. So those are Leora and David's children. And of course, the other grandchild, the grandchild-in-law who was like a grandchild, Will, grandchild Neder, and grandchild Lev. Those are the children of Anna and mine. And then after Talia and Will got married, Mia got two amazing gifts. She got a great-grandchild, Oliver, and great-grandchild, Georgie. So she was a wonderful grandmother, great-grandmother. This is my beloved Anna, my partner, and with Mia. This is Mia's 90th birthday. Just we really enjoyed that celebration. Just always fun. And she always had that look in her eyes, both playful but also challenged. There was always a challenge. It's like she couldn't not ask you a question, And Mia was great at hanging out. So this is her, I'd say, in the late 70s, early 80s, hanging out with John Grinder in Santa Cruz. John was the founder of NLP. This is Mia hanging out with Lev, her grandchild. And I love this picture because it just shows Mia engaged and hanging out and sweet. She'd come and just sit down and always have a great conversation. She was also really comfortable in any environment. This is a ceremony for the new year, and that's Mia lighting the candle. That's in one of the workshops with Leora. And hanging out with friends. This is Yvonne. They had an amazing relationship, and I have to say, and I put in parentheses the husbands, because they were less relevant than just Mia and Yvonne and that connection.
Let me just mention that their son, Miko, is with us here.
Yeah, I think Eitan is here too.
Eitan's here too.
Their children are here, yeah. And lifelong friend Marilyn, who is also here, I believe. Just she was a people's person, relationships was what was important for her. And of course, Moshe, who throughout his life until he died, they were really soulmates. It was so beautiful to see them together because the minute they got together, it was all about that concept, that approach, which was wonderful. And I'd say that, she had a genius in with her hands and her understanding of movement and body and stuff like that. But she loved having fun. She loved traveling. She loved having fun and just enjoying every moment. So thank you, Mia, for all of that. I wanted to use this slideshow just to kind of get us in the mood for who Mia was. Okay, so here we are back, all of us. Again, amazing to see so many people here, 155. We're going up in numbers. People keep joining. It's just very touching. Okay. Leora, would you like to say a few words?
Not at this moment. I want to hear from
Okay.
everybody else. It's just so amazing to see you all. All I want to say is it's amazing to have you all here. So please share your
Thank
thoughts
you.
we're going to give everybody a chance, and I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. So I just want to share my own experience with Mia, both as a mother and as Mia, because obviously for me, these are two different things. As a mother, she was a wonderful mother. She gave me experiences that were unbelievable. And she was also both happy and always very generous. I don't think I ever heard the word no at home. Maybe the only time I heard it wasn't from Mia, it was from my father, Morris, who actually never was involved in my upbringing. But Mia would go to him when she wanted me to hear the word no, and he'd say no to me about something. Mia, it was always, yes, of course, whatever you want. And were it not for Mia, I'd never do something like judo or Kyogen theater, or even know the amazing connection between my toe and the top of my head. It was like, these are all things Mia gave me. And she also created a home for us that was amazing and exciting. So as I said, that Indian guru who came to teach us meditation when I was 3, we had the London Symphony Orchestra members from there come and sleep in our living room on the floor and play for us. Just the most amazing stuff. And of course, my friends always felt welcome. And it was also a free house. I mean, they used to play music and smoke hashish and dance around all night, even when my parents were home. It was just a very open, welcoming space. And of course, the people that were attracted to Mia, just an amazing crowd. So I got to meet, David Ben-Gurion, who she worked with, the first prime minister of Israel. And she was so excited to work with him. And she always mentioned him literally until her last weeks. He was a big thing in her life. But I met people like, Milton Erickson, the therapist, Yehudi Menuhin, the violinist, Dr. J, the basketball player, John Grinder, the founder of NLP. It was like so many amazing people to meet. But more than that, I want to say, and I'm looking at the screen here, I don't know all of you, but the people I met throughout the years, Mia's students, musicians and teachers and healers and doctors, and just Mia's community, of which you all are part, it's just a collection of amazing, inspiring people, and I'm forever grateful for being introduced to that. And I want to say there was one experience which made me see Mia not as my mother, but as Mia. And this was sometimes in the 70s. Mia arranged for our family to meet with the therapist Virginia Satir in San Francisco. And beyond the fact Virginia was an amazing family therapist, and of course, there's a lot of stories that came out of that weekend for the family, but Virginia insisted that I talk about Mia and call her Mia and not my mom or mommy. And that was a great move, which made me see the person beyond my biological mother. And what after 67 years of being with Mia, what I can say is I can really see her superpowers. And one of them was her ability to focus and to be curious at the same time. And she'd really pull you in and make you the center of the world. And she'd do it with so much charm. And, every policeman who ever tried to give Mia a ticket ended up apologizing and saying, please drive off. She just got away with murder with that stuff.
You have to tell them about this. I only need a hug. It's an amazing story.
Yeah. You can tell them, Leora. Let me.
Oh.
Okay. Well, when you want, feel free.
Okay, fine.
Mia has an ability to be very, very much in the moment. And in that sense, if you know Mia, every moment was the most amazing moment I've ever had, the most interesting thing I've ever had, the best chocolate cake I've ever eaten. She loved chocolate cakes. And the thing was, if she had a chocolate cake, first of all, it was the best she's ever tasted. And the next thing would be, you have to come with me to taste it. And as usual, the next time, it probably wasn't the best in the world. But there was always this childish excitement in the moment that was magical. And I think her real superpower was in her connection with people. When Mia was with you, you were the center of her world, of her attention and curiosity. And it was amazing because what that made us all feel is that we are the center of our world. She saw us, and that allowed us to learn about ourselves in ways that we didn't know. And that was really an amazing ability, which I think touched all of those here and many more in so many different ways. And I want to say that, in the end, I believe we all want to do good in the world. And when I look at these people, and I feel so grateful for all the love that's poured in after Mia's passing, I really see in Mia's, life trajectory, her ability to leave the world after having touched so many people and helped so many people. I'm just forever grateful for that. And I think that knowing Mia, she is definitely somewhere now on another amazing adventure that's the best adventure she's ever had. And she's probably also tasting lots of chocolate cakes because this next one will be the best one in the world. So, my dear Mia, I love you. Thank you. Godspeed. And thank you all for being here. Okay. Next, we have, again, Anna, who is, I mentioned earlier, Anna is Mia's daughter-in-law and my partner. Anna, what would you like to share?
Well, the first thing I'd like to share is could you please close your music? Because it is distracting. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I had the privilege of being Mia's daughter-in-law for the past 36 or 37 years. And I want to share just 3 short stories or things that come to mind when I think of Mia. There's so many. First of all, Mia was my accomplice when it came to enjoying life and living a good life. And we both love to have a really good cup of Earl Grey tea, share a delicious cake, and then go shopping for clothes. And we did this up till the end, and just vibed really well around just enjoying life. The second thing is I was going over Mia's personal items and her desk, her secretaire. I came upon this, and I don't expect it, but for some reason it brings tears to my eye each time I share it. I came across this little, this is a small little greeting card. So it opens up into 3 pieces. And you can see in paper this delicately cut butterflies. And then you put it across the orange and you get this magnificent little butterfly. And she never used it. It was just sitting there with all her precious things. And something about it just touches me. It reminds me of the delicacy of Mia. The delicacy, it takes such delicacy of touch to create such beauty. And Mia had the sensitivity. I remember the lesson where she taught students how to touch by just listening in this delicate way and to be present. And it reminds me of her aesthetics and her love of Japanese small little boxes and beautiful aesthetics and the beauty that she saw in all of us. She was she loved unconditionally, and she saw the beauty in this as much as she saw the beauty in me and in my children and in all of you. And so I think that that's why it touches me so much. And the third thing is I always wanted Mia to write a book. We all wanted, and she never did. I told her once that I would write a book because I felt that there was such parallel between the principles of the Feldenkrais method and principles, spiritual principles of living a full, joyful, purposeful life. So at some point we sat and we created the Moshe's 10 commandments, and those were the principles, and we were going to write chapters, and we got through 1 2-page chapter and dropped the project. But recently I told her that I would write a book, and I'll call it What I Learned from My Mother-in-Law. And I'll say, we each learn, or we each remember the thing that touches us because of who we are. And the thing that, for me, the method of Feldenkrais, beyond what you're all going to share, curiosity and presence, and for me, the work is masterful method in follow through. Because in that 2-page chapter that we did write, how do you go from intention to follow through? You have the intention to jump. Specifically, we spoke about, she gave the example of jumping into the pool, and you have the intention, and then your knee is stopping you, and your neck is going this way, and your hip is stopping this way. And like, how do you follow through from intention to living or to doing the next action and doing it fully? That is something that I'm curious about and that I have spent my life doing. And I feel that that is what the work is showing me, the Feldenkrais work, how to go from intention to full optimal follow through. And so, Mia, thank you for all the gifts and the love. Thank you all for showing up here. Blessings on your journey, Miele.
Thank you, Anna. And I want to say that Mia touched family. She touched everyone in every way she could. Anna's niece, who's also part of our extended family, sent us a short video in which she just shares how Mia touched her. So, Patty, if you could put on Sophia's short video, please. We're not hearing it.
We're not.
Thank you all for your patience.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia Gatman. I am the niece of Anna and Leon, and I wanted to share a short story about Mia. Growing up in Northern California, I spent many of wonderful, delicious meals and holidays with the Gatman Segal family and Mia. And one time, about a decade ago, when I was hugging Mia goodbye, she stopped me and grabbed my face gently with both her hands like this and looked deeply and lovingly and genuinely into my eyes and said, "If you ever feel like things aren't going to be okay, look in the mirror, realize how beautiful you are, and everything will be okay." That moment really stuck with me, and I think about it a lot whenever I'm feeling down. So thank you, Mia, for your genuine loving kindness that you showed me throughout my life. And thank you to Anna and Leon for always including me in your Segal family so I could have special moments like that with Mia. So all my love to you. Thank you.
Sweet Sophia. We have a few more. David, is David here?
He
Yes.
just got in, he's under a hood because he couldn't get in on his own name.
Under a hood.
Ehud Segal, which is his son, my nephew.
Yeah. So David is Morris's son. Morris was married before he married Mia. And David was and is a half brother who came and lived with us for many years, and has been an amazing half
An
brother.
amazing big brother. He's an amazing big brother. We adore him. And some of the family here as well. He has a big family. So yeah, that's
So, Patty, can you, or where's David? If you can unmute Ehud Segal.
I've invited him to unmute himself.
Okay. David, if you
Hi,
can.
Hey, where are you?
I'm David.
Ah, there you go. Hi, and Aline, and my sister-in-law. Hi.
And I'm David, under the name of Ehud Segal, who is my son. And he helped me get into the Zoom because I had all kinds of problems. So now I'm his name. I met Mia when I was about 6 years old, about 5.5. I was in my mother's custody till I was about that age. And then I was transferred to my dad, to my father's custody. And I met my dad in London. And he was newly married, recently married to Mia. So I met Mia in London. I was about 6. She was about 24, I guess. And I think in London, I think at the time, I think she was studying the Alexander technique. I think that was before she met Feldenkrais. And in London, there's a story about Mia in London, which I heard. I haven't had a real confirmation about it, but Mia was born and brought up in Jerusalem, which was at the time was under the British mandate, and very oriental city, Arabs, Jews, bazaars, markets. And the story goes that the first time she went into Marks and Spencer's to buy something, I think she wanted some socks, and they said it was 15 shillings. So she said, I'll give you 12.
Can I just interrupt for a second? For those who don't know, Marks and Spencer's is a big department store in London.
Yeah, one of the biggest department stores in London, yes. I think I was a bit confused at the time by the move from my mother to with this new young cool stepmom, but in cold London mornings she let me come up and snuggle up to her, cuddle up to her in a bed. So I think I figured out that she was okay at the time. And then we came back to Tel Aviv, to a flat in Tel Aviv. And then I spent some years in boarding school. And at boarding school, Mia once told me that, short story about what happened once. I broke my arm, and they called from the school, they called home, and to tell him about it. And Mia picked up the phone, and they said, is that the Segal home? She said, yes. Is it David's mother? I said, yes, And by the time they got to the point, they said, okay, we'd like to tell you that we're sorry to tell you that David broke his arm. And Mia said to me that she was going crazy. And she said, finally, thank God it was only his arm and not something else. By the time they got to that point. When I was in high school, I left boarding school. I was, we were living in Herzliya. We had a big, large house, and my room was next to the guest room. And on weekends, Feldenkrais came almost every weekend at lunch. And then he was doing all kinds of working out and exercises and stuff in the guest room. And I being a teenager at the time, frankly, I wasn't very interested in what they were doing. But looking back now, I mean, today I am very interested in Feldenkrais. I go to sessions, but now I realize, looking back, I realize that, I was looking at history being made, the Feldenkrais method, Mia and Moshe working together. I think Mia, when she first met me, and she was, I think of her now as a kid from my old age, 24, and I was 6, and I'm not sure she had any training or experience with children, and must have been a bit tough on her, especially at the beginning. But looking back at all those years, I really miss those years of my childhood and youth, and I miss Mia.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Eileen. To see you. Good to see you both. Okay, I wonder if is Robert Dilts here? I saw him earlier. I'm not seeing him now. If you are here, Robert, if you could just briefly say hello.
Yeah, I see him. He needs to be allowed to unmute there.
Unmute. Hi, hello.
Hi, Robert.
Hi. Oh, thank you for such a beautiful celebration so far. It's amazing. Yeah, I'll just be very brief. I mean, so I came from the NLP work and met Mia. Boy, I guess was either the late 70s or very early 80s, and yeah, we had she was like she was a friend, she was a colleague. I mean, Leon, all the things that you were saying just kept resonating with me. You know, her curiosity, her presence, just that amazing ability she had to, as you said, look at you in a way that you felt you were the most important thing, and that curiosity. And yeah, I mean, we partnered together to try to find out what different ways the Feldenkrais method and NLP could be used together, and that was, great fun, great exploration. Really, could made a lot of difference for a lot of people, and yeah, she I mean, I have so many of these wonderful memories of Mia, of all these examples of you were saying of enjoying life, I mean, enjoying music, enjoying taste, enjoying people. It was always a feast. We might say Mia was a movable feast. That's already taken.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, so I just, she was an important person in my life. She really brought me into this whole world of how the body is as important as the mind in everything that we do. So, I mean, that has been a game changer in my life and has certainly made my life so much better. So thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Leora. Thank you. Thank you, Leon and Anna and the whole family.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Robert.
you. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Mm.
So at this point, we do have, and I'm literally turning here to Anna and Leora, and we do have a few videos, short videos we wanted to play. I already see one hand raised, and I wonder if with so many participants, maybe we want to open it up now for people to raise their hands, and maybe we can hear from a few different individuals from different places in the world. Again, as I said earlier, I'm just asking you to be focused and about 2 to 3 minutes, not more, so that others can share. We want to hear and capture as many stories as possible.
So I just suggest that as they're few, I'd go in the order that they came. So Neelambari, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, raised her hand first.
That's right. Yeah, please don't be shy, everyone. We'd love to hear from you.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you for this memorial. It is so nice to learn about Mia and her past. I heard about Mia when I was in my Feldenkrais training, and I actually met her in 2017. So when I met her, I was so excited. I was as excited as maybe a Taylor Swift fan would actually meet her. So when I met Mia, she was so open and she gave me a big hug, and I felt so welcomed. To the training. And I have a story from master practitioner training. It was hard to find Mia alone. There were always people around her, but there was one time I found her alone. She answered my question, and then she went on to tell me about Peter Brooks and the actor she had worked with in that play Mahabharat in London. And then she spoke about how she met Mallika Sarabhai, who played Draupadi in that play, and how graceful she was, and how in awe Mia was about watching Mallika move. But then what I got out of it is Mia's respect and her sensitivity. For her to say that to me, from someone, a student from Indian origin, to talk to me about Mahabharata, I thought she was very sensitive, and I could sense her respect to the art of theater. And I can only imagine how the actors in that play would have been benefited from Mia working with them. So I just wanted to mention that, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Neelam Bari.
Okay, we have Ofer Aloni.
Yes, it will be very, very short. I just wanted to say, and I'm sure so many people here will share this feeling. I feel so lucky to be one of the people Mia touched, and she touched so many people. But I feel privileged, honored, and just lucky to have the opportunity of knowing her and being touched by her. That's all.
Thank you, Ofer.
Yeah, Ofer's a very old
Wonderful.
friend of ours, of Leon's, right?
Yeah.
Many years he knows Mia. Thanks, Ofer.
Mariana.
Good. What do I do? Don't say it. Is it out?
You're unmuted, Mariana, if you'd like to speak.
Mariana, can you hear us? Okay, let's again. Okay, we have more. Good. Julie?
Hi there. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm on headphones today.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I told a story yesterday about when Mia came to teach in my studio. I won't repeat that story, but it was about my dogs. But a different story came in today. As Neelam Bari was speaking, just about Mia's ability to really see who was in front of her and draw from that and connect the dots. And she was sitting in my studio and adjacent to a big bookshelf full of books, and we were just casually chatting, and all of a sudden she just turned to the bookshelf and grabbed like a very slim volume. You could almost not even see who the author was on the spine. And she just went and picked that very specific book, and it was Drama of the Gifted Child by Alice Miller. And that book has had a really important impact on my life. And I met Alice Miller. She gave us a talk at the 92nd Street Y. And Mia just pulled it off the shelf and she said, I worked with Alice Miller. And I was just like, of course you did, Mia. Of course you did. And I felt the connection between the Feldenkrais work and Mia's way of teaching it and the body of work of Alice Miller. And something sort of cosmic actually fit into place after that experience with her. So just wanted to share that.
Julie, I'd love for you if you could just shortly share the story about the dogs, because it's so telling of the scope of Mia's presence.
Sure.
That I would like that the people hear it too, if it's okay
thank
with you.
you. Yeah, and I see a lot of my litter mates from Europe trainings, and it's so, it just touches me to see everyone here on this call. I'd love to name them all, but I won't. So yeah, when Mia was visiting, we went for a walk with my dogs down in Sausalito by the waterfront. And she, of course, loved dogs, loved animals. And I was saying, Mia, my dogs have issues with their hips and their legs, and maybe you can help me to figure out a way to help them. So she said, of course. And we're walking and chatting. And I'm thinking, why isn't Mia interacting with the dogs? Why isn't she looking at them? Why isn't she tracking them? And we finish our walk. And at the end, she turns to me and she says, Julie, your dogs are actually walking like you walk. They're showing you the issues that you have in your hips. And so, of course, she was connecting the whole field and not just focusing in on, I was so narrow-mindedly focused on my dogs, and she was just like showing me the link between me and my dogs and then the greater field. And I felt like that was always a lesson from her, is that we're really operating in this great interconnected wholeness and always keep the whole in mind. So I was always super grateful to any interactions with her. Thank you.
Thank you. What a beautiful story. Mm. Let's try Mariana once again and see if it works.
Thank you, Leon. Hi, this is Ellie Nadler in Verena.
Hello, Ellie Nadler.
Hi. We're here with at least 12 people, including my family, my son Jack, and my grandson Jackson, and lovely, wonderful people here, including Mickey, who always had conversations in Japanese with Mia. Mia lived here for at least 5 years, I would say, because I'm here 6. And it was a great wrench for us when she left for a while and then came back, and we had her for a splendid 2 months. One of the last things that I remember was her hands-on helping me with a hip that didn't want to function that day. And that was only about 2 weeks before she passed away. We're gathered here and grateful to be able to participate in this way. We'll be sharing more stories along the way. One of my favorite stories, because there were so many constantly with Mia and myself, was when she was getting trained on how to shoot a rifle. And I think she was only in her early to mid-teens, maybe at the time. You could probably tell us more about that. And she was trained so that she could, I think you'd have to say, scare away the British soldiers that were trying to keep the small boats from landing with Holocaust survivors and trying to let them into what was then the British mandate, long before it went to the United Nations and became the State of Israel. So that was one of my favorite stories of many. During COVID, Mia and I broke the rules, and probably after 9 o'clock at night, which is like the witching hour when everything closes down here in Verena, we would sneak into the lounge area in front of the spa and salon, where there were a couple of comfortable chairs and a lamp. And you weren't supposed to get together with other residents, but we were sitting about 10 feet apart. So we allowed ourselves to do that. And we would probably talk for an hour or two. And that's how we got through the COVID closure, where everything was down. So those are just a little bit. I know others here would have stories as well, and we'll share together. So thank you for this opportunity. It's really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ellie. And thank you, all the people at the Verena, for showing up. I'm so glad that the technology worked and that you were able to join and be part of it. And just before we go with the raised hands, there's in the chat, it was earlier, Christian Shakels shared that I met their partner in FK11, so Feldenkrais 11. Then we got married, and today we have a 20-year-old daughter. Oh my God, I'm in tears again.
Can I know them.
Can I just read, Leora? Can I just finish reading?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So then I got married, and today we have a 20-year-old daughter. We educated her following the education of Moshe, Mia, and Leora. Big part of our story. Thanks a lot for everything. Thank you for sharing that, Christian. Go ahead, Leora.
So I was there in the room. There were about 75 people. Christian, I hope you don't mind. I say they were in two opposite corners of the room, huge hall. And after the first ATM, the first exercise, everybody stands up to feel how they are. And these two, it was like like a magnet went through the room. You could see they looked at each other. That was that until this day. And such an amazing relationship. And what was it? Max remembers 6 months ago in the last workshop I gave in Germany, the little girl came and she's 20 and gorgeous. If you can see her here in the pictures, Luella is here. So it's absolutely amazing that you are here today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Let's go with thank you, Gika.
Gika, that's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this time. Thank you for sharing the memories of Mia. Thank you for sharing Mia with us. I have two quick stories. One is we were in Wimberley, Texas, in the master practitioner training. And there was an election here in the US, and the results of which many of us were quite unhappy about. And the next morning we came into the room with some long, sad faces. And Mia came in and she said in her characteristic way, "Good morning. Please lie on the floor. I think you'll find it's still here." That meant a lot to me. Her humor, her life, her ongoing, let's enjoy life. It's still here. That meant a lot to me. And I go back to that memory many, many times. The other thing I want to share is in the Feldenkrais method, we use our hands a lot. And many times she encouraged me to soften my hands. And I didn't understand how to do that. But very recently, I put my hands on someone's hips and I said, "Oh, here are my Alexander hands. These are the hands that I learned from Mia, that just this so delicate, so soft. And they're not always like that. But when they're not, or when they are, I think of Mia and what she said, and so much of what I learned from her and from Leora and from our colleagues in the training. So special thanks, Leora, and greetings to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gika.
Thank you. And in fact, before we, if we can, before we go to Peggy, okay, Peggy's already on. You know what? Hold on for a second, Peggy.
Okay.
Just a second. Patty, if you can put on, just to build on the story of Soften Your Hands, we've got a beautiful short video from Sashien that talks about hands, which I'd love to share too. So,
I remember very clearly till today. On the last day of our practitioner seminar 10, Mia walked to me and said, "I show you something." She put her hand over my hands and they were on my partner's pelvis. Then she guided my hand and moved. It was so fast. And suddenly the whole skeletal structure of my partner was so clear in my mind's eyes. I was so shocked and amazed. Mia said, "You get it?" I said, "I can see the whole skeletal structure, including the little toes and fingers." Then Mia said, "No, I'm showing you how to separate the organs." It was so amazing. And that inspired me to pursue and learn from Mia and Laura. Thank you, Mia, with deepest gratitude for making who I am today.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. Peggy. Wait. Gotta unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I'm at a dance weekend. You may hear some music in the background in beautiful Mill Valley, California. And after my Feldenkrais training, my mentor during the training, Ellen Soloway, introduced me to Mia and urged me to take trainings with Mia, which I did. And there's always a learning from Mia. The story about the dogs I love, and now this last one about the hands. And Mia was also very pointed. I remember the last training I took with her, I was having trouble with my right shoulder, and she came over and she said, "Why don't you think of your other shoulder that's not in pain?" And that has stayed with me. I've used it many times. Mia lived in Palo Alto for a while, south of San Francisco, and I'm a little north. And we became friends, and she invited me to visit her several times. And when she was downsizing to move to Israel, I actually inherited a wonderful table from her, which still is by my front door. So thank you, Mia, for everything, all the learning, and thank you, family, for all of this.
And thank you, Peggy, for that. Victoria.
Hi, I live in Western Massachusetts, which is just a few miles from the Amherst training. And I had just moved from Washington, D.C. up to Amherst 7 months before that training was announced. And I was moving here while I was waiting for the next Feldenkrais training. So I was in the training 80 to 83. And I had many, many lessons, and Mia was my main teacher for many of those lessons throughout our training. And one day I had a tremendous amount of pain and inability to walk, often because I'd had a 2-story fall as a child in a house fire. And so I was in a lot of pain. I was in my 20s, mid-20s. And I went into the lesson and I said, Mia, I don't know what happened. I said, I was feeling so much better and now I have pain everywhere. We also didn't know I had Lyme disease at that time. But so she said, she said, I see, come lay down. And she started to guide me. She worked with my neck some. She guided me with some jaw movements and to forward and side. And then she would ask me to sing. And I started singing the silly song that I learned from another trainee in the Feldenkrais training about prunes. No matter how young a prune might be, she's always getting wrinkles. And she would have me sing, she would work, I'd sing another little part of the song. And by the end, she said, I felt my whole body just completely come to rest on the table. Oh, I forgot this main thing. When I walked in and told her I was in so much pain, I was crying. And she said, I see, lay down. And then she said to me, she said, crying is crying, breathing is breathing, and soft is soft. And then she started to work. And obviously, how many years later, 45 years later, I still remember her saying that to me. And after we worked, my body was just completely allowing the table to support me, and I felt so much better. And she said, now teach me that song about the prunes. She was fun. Really, I'm walking to this day because of her work and many other teachers and the Feldenkrais method. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Very sweet. Garrett?
Yes, hello. Victoria's inspiring me because I also met Mia in the Amherst training, and I was very attracted to her mainly because I was going to do a training in the Alexander technique, and I knew that she had trained in it before she began to work with Mache. And one wonderful story that I remember after many, many trainings with Mia and meetings with her and functional integration lessons with her was we were sitting around a table during a course, and I was still kind of trying to do my Alexander technique and, be long and upright. And she asked me to turn to someone looking next to me. And she said, doesn't he look comfortable? And he was sitting like this. And it was like I got everything in that one moment of her question. And it was just the way Mia was a teacher at every opportunity that she had. We were having breakfast and she just never let go of an opportunity to help someone to learn something. So I'm very grateful to Mia for that. I'm sorry that we didn't stay in touch after, well, everybody knows about, she left the Feldenkrais community, the main community, and really went on her own. And it's wonderful to hear everyone here who has had experiences with her, because she was really one of the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett. There are many. Michael, are you raising your hand? Yes. Michael Klingenstein. Yes. Please unmute yourself if you can.
I'm on.
Yes, you are. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Leon. Very nice to meet you. Thank you very much for this possibilities. And hey, Leora, I share my feelings with you. So I met Mia. I didn't know anything about Mia. I was in a Feldenkrais practice a little bit because of my son and myself. And I met Mia in Bad Tölz, and on one of these mornings, lying there, the sun is coming into the windows, and she mentioned in a way we have to do something or to feel something. There is no right and wrong, and this was life changing. To get the freedom to do things, to improve without any ideas how it's right and wrong. The way she's looking at me, trusting in my own possibilities to feel and change myself. So the trust and the beloved looking she gave me was super important. And I'm very thankful to meet her, and good that you did this. Thanks, Leora.
And best wishes to your son also, you and your son. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Neder is Mia's grandchild.
Hi, everyone. My name's Neder. Mia's grandchild. I don't have a particular kind of specific story to share. I think that I just wanted to share that Mia was an amazing grandmother, and maybe, colleagues and people who worked with her didn't know that. And I think I've been reflecting on the kind of unconditional love that I got from her, that it sounds like many of you received kind of as well in the moments that you were with her. I think maybe the only thing she loved more than her work was her children and grandchildren. And she really just, she gave every one of us such care and attention, made us feel like we were the most special person in the world. She cared for us. She moved across the world to be with us. She moved to New York and to California and back to Israel, Palestine, and to all these places just to be with us. And would pamper me and do Feldenkrais lessons with me. And as I kind of grew older, we would talk both about our lives and also, for someone who was born in Jerusalem in the year 1930 and lived into her 90s, she was really open-minded. We had a lot of conversations about gender and about Palestine and about Israel, and even things we disagreed about. She had such unconditional love that I think was a really special thing to experience. And I think as I've grown older, I've understood that it's not something you can take for granted from grandparents or from anyone in this life. And I also think it's special that we often think of kind of people who kind of excel in their field and as having to kind of sacrifice some sort of relationship with their family, kind of in order to dedicate their life to their work. And I think it's so special that Mia really showed up for her family in such deep, profound ways every day. At the same time that I think she showed up for her students all over the world every day. So yeah, I just feel grateful for the unconditional love that she brought into my life and my siblings' life and my cousin's life and all of your lives as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Neda.
Thanks, Neda.
I would just like, before we let Yagil speak, there's another comment in the chat from Donna Simmons. It's amazing that I tear up as I'm about to read these. Thank you, Mia, for being you and sharing yourself with me and all the others. Thank you, Leon and Leora and Mia's family, for sharing this time with us. Thank you, Donna.
I also just want to mention that Ingrid, I saw her, and Margit raising the hand like this, so you won't see it on this with the yellow thing. So just if you take note of that, that's okay. So Margit
So
and
tell me
Ingrid.
the names again, Ingrid and Margit.
Yeah, Ingrid Kazumagic and Margit Hastil. I can send it to you in the chat.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I see Ingrid already has her hand raised, but let's go with Yagil.
I'm honored to be part of this amazing emotional meeting. I met Mia here and there. I can't say that I knew her very well, obviously by proxy. My dear friendship with Leon and of course with Anna. But I have to say that she was always so alive via the family, via my best friend, Leon, that it was touching each and every time when he was talking about her, and you could just see her whenever I was with him. And it was always a wonderful experience. Most of all, I want to thank Mia for leaving me very dear friends, who she so beautifully and masterfully raised and made amazing human beings. You don't need to know Mia personally. If you meet Leon, if you meet Anna, if you meet Neder and Lev, it tells the whole story. So thank you, Leon, for having such a mother who brought you in such a way.
Thank you, Yagil, for being such a wonderful friend. Ingrid.
Hello to everyone, and thank you for opportunity to be with all of you, and thank you to Life for us, for me, Emma and me, and for my family to have an opportunity, to give us an opportunity to meet Mia and the whole ABM team and Leora, who made a huge change in our lives. And I asked Emma to actually to say something from herself about her experience, because she helped me a lot as Emma's mother. But for Emma's life, she said not yet, not now, but yes. So I just want to say in Emma's name, but from my experience on the training in Bad Tolz, when Mia and Laura took us in the training and took Emma with her special needs at that time, really a huge challenges which she faces. And Mia was, as you all already told about her, she just she just from the first day create an atmosphere where Emma could start to feel her capabilities and not just disabilities. So one of her first sentences after some lessons were like, now I know I can do something out of my life. So in other manner, the way how Mia created this atmosphere was absolutely amazing and unique. How she I don't know how to actually explain, because it's just like so huge for our lives and so deep. She is so deep changes and help which we get from her in all these ways, as you said, in this simple approach with this just like direct approach, which is actually amazing. It's difficult for me to express it in English words, so I'm sorry. But I just know that I can tell you that she saved our lives, and Emma is now, she even finished the faculty for art, and she's an painter, and I'm capable to do this work and to earn for us, and we can develop our lives in really positive ways. And I can tell you, Bartholz and Mia Segal's training with Leora and with all others made this possible. So thank you. And Mia is in our lives, however, all the time, and her sentences and her touches and her help when I was sick there, and she came to my room and she gave me a lesson, and it's just like impossible for me to explain in words how much she's involved in our lives and how big impact she had and she will have forever. Thank you so much for everyone and to everyone. And to Mia.
Thank you, Ingrid, and thank you, Emma. Thank you both for being here with us.
Yes.
Let's remember Margit before we
go to Julia.
let Giuliano.
So Margit is still muted.
I've invited her
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm so touched that I rather have difficulties to explain but I wanted to say really thank you to the whole family of Mia to share this wonderful summary of her life that gave me a lot of information from Mia that I did not know, but at the same time, I cannot tell you anything new because you, Leon, did said everything what I wanted to say also. So I will be short and just tell everybody that it's so nice to see a lot of people that I know and that shares with me the memory of Mia. And Mia changed like everybody that met her felt unique in a way and changed my life and made me feel another person during the years. So thank you.
Thank you, Margit.
So just to say, we're a minute to the time that we originally said that this event will end. So what I want to suggest is people are asking me if we can just continue. If you need to leave, please do. Thank you so much for being here. And we will just continue and allow everybody to share because it's recorded and we'll have this as a family legacy and heirloom. So we'll just keep going.
Thank you, Anna, for that. Giuliano.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief as well. There's so many lovely memories from the training, the Feldenkrais training to share. But if I had to choose one aspect that I feel like it's most peculiar from my relationship with Mia is the fact or both of our love for Japan. And I was very much curious about her own experience from her time in Japan. And I could also learn some very interesting and different things over here today that I didn't know, which showcases her immense ability to create links and make agencies between different paths, different ways of thinking. And one of those that are very touching to me is the relationship she had not only with Moshe, but also with Haruchika Noguchi in Japan, who she met during her time in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And which somehow it's a link that very much spoke to my own trajectory because I was a Seitai student and a Feldenkrais student before actually meeting with her. Only then to realize that she was actually the link. She was the one who introduced Feldenkrais to Noguchi. And that gave me a lot of direction, a lot of sense. And we follow up throughout the years through many conversations, not only in the trainings. I got to meet her in Bud Totes, and then later in the US, in Texas, and in California. But even later in the last few years, we continue conversations through Zoom. And I continue carrying those memories, and even I have been reflecting, since her passing, I have revisited a lot of the material, and I find it, I feel like there's the body of work is so immense that I'm gonna continue to draw from and learn from for many years to come. And I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope even to share that material in the future as well.
Wow.
Thank you all very, very much.
Giuliano. Naomi.
Let's see. Okay. Wow. So again, I also thank you for bringing us all together for Mia's memories, and she feels so much closer when everybody speaks about her. I feel her in my daily life. Okay, I met her at an early age, and when I was 20, she really helped me change the feeling of myself after an injury I had. I felt I owned myself again. But later on, when I joined her in her trainings, there were this wisdom of her life, the wisdom she gave us all. Like when a training, people spoke about how the training began in the morning, but at the end, she never ended a training before it was the last minute of the training. And this is something I take for everyday life. Because I used to say, but look, Mia, everybody has their suitcases already, and some of them are walking away. And she used to say, no, we don't finish until the training ends. We are here. And this is something that really follows me in life. The way she looks, she used to look, I feel her present. It's strange, I speak to her in the past, but I remember she took my hand once and she said, look at this hand, as if it's the first time you have ever seen a hand. And this is how you start. And this feeling of here and now at every moment, it can be when landing in Japan and we didn't sleep the whole night during the flight, but it was morning in Japan. And I said, are we going to have a sleep now? And she said, no, look at the time. It's morning in Japan. We're going outside now. So these are just a few of the memories I carry with me, and how her outlook on life touched and also joined everybody else's life in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you,
Just to
Naomi.
add that Naomi is a family member to Leora and Leon.
Yes. Thank you, Anna, for that connection.
I'm just wondering also about Max and Earhart. I know the video was a bit long, but I don't know if Max is here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you are and you want to share something, then Leora, if you've seen him here.
He's here. Max is here.
If you're comfortable. If not, then it's all good.
Well, he can't. Can you wave at us if you want to speak? There you go. Do you want to? Should we unmute you? There we go.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, maybe only shortly. I can also send my love from my uncle. He's at the moment, I think, still teaching a Feldenkrais class in Vienna, so he couldn't be part of it. His video, I don't know. It was difficult for him to speak in English. So, yeah, but maybe you can look at it later. So many things have been said so far already. I can only share or add. For me, I met Mia the first time in Vienna, and it felt a little bit like this room here. There was hundreds of people, maybe, I don't know, but many people. And I've never seen Mia before. And we were sitting on a chair, and I was doing some movement, and Mia was guiding us through it. And I had the feeling, I don't know, this woman is talking only to me, like very personally. And I felt so understood and so, touched by her. And then I looked around myself and I saw in the facial expressions of everyone else that everyone had that feeling. So around me, that was really magical. And I told that once. I wrote Mia a letter, I think it was for her 90th birthday. I sent her some chocolates. And for me, this was like, she was a little bit like a grandmother to me. Only that I didn't get the chocolate, but she got the chocolates and she loved it so much. So for me, that was very nice. And I told her that this was magical for me. And she just said something like, oh, it's easy. It's easy. And this is always this easiness that I loved so much about her. She really had a big impact on my life throughout the training. I had some very difficult times, and she always found a few words to cheer me up. And I think the biggest gift actually that Mia left is to have met all these beautiful people and to see all of you here. And I think, part of Mia is in everyone here and continues to work and to live on. And I'm very glad for that. Thank you. Thank you, Leon and Leora, for organizing this.
Thank you, Max. Thank you. So what I'm thinking is, since both Naomi and Giuliano mentioned Japan and Mia loved Japan that much, maybe before we close, Patty, if you can just share the Ikuko music video with us all, which is just a beautiful way to close our...
Oh, wait. Before we do that, can I just say something? Because that would be a lovely way to close. And I would just like to say from my heart that so many of you here are friends and colleagues and supporters and coworkers for so many years. Like when Max just spoke, so his uncle was one of Mia's first students. And so he's been doing it since childhood, basically. When he says she's like his grandmother, it's true. And Max was actually with us the very last night of Mia's life. He was in California and took me in anyway. So, and then, Margit is now our top trainer in Europe with Chris, who didn't speak. But I mean, so many of you have touched me through the years, and I know how much it meant to Mia. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is another way of showing that Mia is still here with us, and that I really appreciate, and I know she really appreciates, that you are taking a big part of her life, her complete immersion in this work and what it can bring, which some of you spoke about, and you are taking it on. She is with us in that we are continuing this part. And I think this is an amazing gathering where we can really affirm how things continue and just make it better. Each one of you takes it to your own world. And I mean, Emma came to us so young when Ingrid was speaking about it, and has been such an inspiration to so many people in that she is blossoming. And it just shows how much we can grow this work, and also Mia's ways, with the emphasis on joy and fun and being present. Like going back to the beginning, like when Leon said every chocolate cake was the best ever, that when you're really living in the moment, like Mia was, where her number one sorting criteria was, let's have fun. Which means just let's be here now and do it with joy. And I hope this is, anyway, what I'm taking from this meeting is that this collective appreciation of her way. Thank you.
Thank you, Leora. So yeah, let's listen to Ikuko's music and then all say goodbye. There'll be a brief closure here.
Hello, I'm Ikuko Suzuki. I graduated Mia and Leora's course in Nijmegen, the Netherlands, in 2003. That was the 9th course. I will play now a Japanese song, So Shunfu, with my gratitude to Mia, as well as Leora and the assistants and my classmates. The pianist is my sister Keiko. Thank you.
Beautiful. And Ikuko is here with us. Thank you, Ikuko.
Arigatou gozaimashita. Beautiful. Subarashi. Wow. It's like, I don't want this to end, but at some point we're all going to have to say goodbye. I want to thank Anna and Leora and Patty for helping set this up and carrying it through. All the amazing people I see on my screen and the people that aren't on my screen. And just this whole myceliated network of people who've been touched by Mia and have learned from Mia and have taken her work forward and are touching more people in the world, which is what we need. The world needs people doing good work. And here we are continuing the good work that Mia has done. So this is, I feel a lot of gratitude for being a small node in this amazing network that's been created by a woman who was born in Jerusalem in 1930. I think maybe we can just we can unmute everybody and just say goodbye as we slowly kind of say thank you to Mia and to ourselves and slowly sign off from this amazing meeting. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
In all the languages.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Obrigado.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, family. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mahalo. Dancing there.
Bye from Munich too.
Hi.
Norma is dancing.
Goodbye.
No, I saw she is a dancer.
Good.
Thank you.
Goodbye
all.
and thank you. Thank you, Mia.
Bye bye.
Thank you to all our friends.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See
Goodbye.
you. See you.
From Northern Ireland.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.